So the rise and fall of Halo Infinite. This is an interesting topic, guys, because, you know, I'm going to, give you guys some things to think about here in terms of what happened to Halo and, what could maybe bring this, franchise back to the forefront. Because I think when the release of Halo Infinite came out, this franchise and the game, obviously, it was kind of shaky, right? We had a title that, before Infinite came out, Halo 5 Guardians was, to a lot of people, lots of people did not like it. I didn't like the campaign. I thought the multiplayer was decent, but a lot of people didn't like the game in general, and it lost a lot of player base and things of that nature. And so Halo Infinite was very, very highly anticipated, and when it released, it blew up. I mean, people absolutely, everybody was playing it. It was a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz around the game, all the big streamers, content creators creating content around the game. And what an incredible rise it was to see Halo back in the forefront. But over time, we've seen slowly but surely the game slowly deteriorate in terms of its player base, its esports scene, and all of those things. So why is this, and what could have happened? Well, a lot of it has got to fall on the doorstep of 343 Industries and Microsoft. I think that this was a game that needed to be consistently, maintained and updated and things of that nature. And yes, they have updated it. Yes, they have fixed, bugs and glitches and things of that nature. But once again, this is another common case of a studio publisher not listening to what the community is telling them to do. And I'm not saying that a studio and publisher should be listening to everything that the community says, because sometimes a fan base can ask for unrealistic things and have unrealistic expectations. But that being said, it reminds me a lot of what's going on in the Call of Duty scene. That Infinity Ward wasn't listening to the fan base. Activision as a whole was not listening to the fan base, and it's very concerning to me because, even though Halo, it's a Microsoft, owned IP, they're going to be acquiring Activision Blizzard. And so who knows where the future of Call of Duty is going to go if we have, them not really listening to the community right now. What is the future going to look like? Are they going to double down on this, or are they going to change their ways from a culture perspective? And it's hard to say either way. But with Halo Infinite's case, I think that they were on such a high. And yes, any game that's on a high, it's going to come down somewhat, slowly but surely, because there's going to be new games that come out. People are going to try out other things. But for Halo Infinite to fall as much as it did, there's systemic issues behind the scenes that are going on for it to be dropping as significantly as it did. It's, a lot. It's much more than just, people were going over to play other games. That does happen, but if you have a game that is consistently maintained and you're listening to the community, gradually you're going to, of course, have a massive fan base. You're going to be able to withstand that community as well, because those are the people who, and the individuals that are going to be consistently coming back to the experience over and over again. There was a lot of talk that, there was going to be a battle royale mode. Forge mode took a long time to come out. There were just a lot of things where there were lots of delays, and I have no problem with delays, but when you're promising certain things and you don't deliver, that's where there's problems. I think in Halo's case, especially from an esports perspective as well, it just felt that they weren't putting enough resources and development into the esports side of things for the Halo Championship Series, which I think, esports and gaming for gamers is, they go hand in hand. I mean, the success of a game, if done properly, your esports scene can really bring people back to the experience over and over again. I know for me, as an example, every time that I watch the Call of Duty League, I instantly want to start playing because I'm watching them play and I'm like, man, I want to implement some of, I see something and I want to implement it into my own gameplay while I'm playing. And with Halo, it's the same thing, or really any esport out there. You watch it, and then a lot of people want to go play the game. It gets you like energized, excited to play the game because you're seeing some incredible gameplay on screen. So esports is such a huge way to help your game continue growing. And once again, just like the Call of Duty League, just not enough focus and not enough energy and development is being spent from the publishers and the developers on esports. And so I'm not saying that that's why Halo fell, but I'm saying that if you're supporting your game and you're also supporting the esports scene, those things can go hand in hand. And if one isn't being addressed, it's going to mess with the entire equilibrium of the game. And so I think in Halo's case, we're seeing a lot of people leave because number one, that's the game, in the gameplay, they're not listening to the community on things that they want to see addressed. And so I think that it really starts there, addressing the things that the community wants, because the community, even though they are, not the end all be all, they are the ones playing the game on a consistent basis. And if you have enough people telling you, hey, we need to change this or change that about the game, and you don't do anything about it, you very well may lose those people and they may go on to other games. We're living in a world now where their games are very much so easily, readily available to everybody, whether you're talking about Xbox Game Pass to PC games, free-to-play games, battle royales, horror shooters, FPS. I mean, all these different genres that are out there. Games are more readily available now than any time in history, in the video game industry. And so I just want to challenge 343 Industries, because I'm not going to say that it's just them. I am going to challenge them, though, to really listen to the community. Now, in terms of the community, sometimes I've said this as well, that the community can sometimes really hurt a franchise as well. And I'll give you an example of this. Another Xbox and Microsoft IP is Gears of War. And Gears of War, guys, is one of my favorite games of all time. And I saw the community really hurt this franchise in a major way, where there was so much complaining about every little thing within the game, very, very nitpicky things. And when you talk about and you complain about a smaller IP and the developers and the developer team, when they don't address everything, it can definitely hurt the game. But at the same time, when they go after individuals from that studio for like the Coalition 343 Industries, that could very well demoralize somebody, or it could really demotivate you to do things and start spiting the community. And these things can, have gone back from the beginning of the gaming industry, where there's been, if there's issues from the community's perspective, it can seep into a cultural issue within the development or the publisher side of things. And so I just feel that the community and the developers and publishers need to work in unison to create an incredible experience, because I think that this isn't done enough. I think that small indie games are absolutely doing this. It's the big AAA publishers are the ones that are not doing it and not addressing the issues quickly enough, or aren't addressing them at all. And that is a massive mistake in my personal opinion. I think it's very, very important that with Halo and games in the future that come out, that the developers and the publishers really focus on the community more than anything. Focus on the community before you're focusing on monetization tactics. Focus on the community before you're trying to figure out the next battle pass or whatever it is. Focus on your community, what they want, and address those issues. I'm not just saying one person in the community. I'm saying when you've got a lot of people in the community that are asking you to address something, just do it, because they're the ones that are going to be coming back to the experience over and over again. Let me know, though, guys, what do you all think happened to Halo, and what do you think could really be done to bring this once again to the top of the FPS genre? What do you guys think it's going to take? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Halo content and videos, stay here with zrotv.